Augustus J. McCann was a henpecked married man. He'd been fighting with his wife since his married life began. One night about 3:30, while out upon a spree, a motor knocked him down and out and nearly broke his knee. The chauffeur raised Mac's head. Why, said, this man is dead. But when he said, we'll take him home, McCann jumped up and said, don't take me home, please.
Hello Space Engineers, welcome back to, well, a bit of a rainy Hephaestus Prime today, which is actually quite sort of apt since where I am in my part of the world, we have had a very nice autumn, nice golden days, golden sunshine, leaves falling. However, today winter has arrived, so our first polar blast of the season. But anyway, back to Hephaestus Prime. So, apart from moving the rocket outside, pretty much just carrying straight on from last episode. So, this is, I guess, part 2. So, we'll get into it. First up, we'll just have a very quick look at the base again. I don't think I've done anything to it, apart from maybe put in those lateral thrusters, just the few extra ones on the corners there, just for a bit of a detail, and I think it's going to be quite heavy, so a few extra thrusters are coming useful. So yeah, this is where we're sort of up to at the moment. Now you will note that there is a projector there with a buggy. So what I want to do is build a bit of a cargo bay, a bit like the space shuttle, and potentially have enough room for a buggy or a flyer, that sort of thing. So it'll probably just be continuing on the shape going up. So first of all, I'll put in some infrastructure, machines and things, batteries and whatnot in this section, and the actual bay itself will pretty much be where that projection is at the moment, and then we'll go from there. So I don't know how long it's going to take, I suspect a very long time, and yeah, don't know if we're going to get this finished today, but we'll see how we go. Yes. Alright, so just putting this reactor in. Now, I hope it has got a all the way through conveyor thing there, so just going to put this in, and I'll pipe up from here these the downward facing thrusters, which are all the way at the bottom, but because of the way the tanks are, you can't really connect into those further down. So we've got the feeder lines coming up the corner each side. So the reactor, keen to have a big one in here, so that even though I'll be sort of flying to and from the moon, I don't think I will need to use it, because I'm also intending to have a few batteries, which just while I'm laying out this pipe work, hopefully should be able to fit the batteries in around it. Yeah, so that's this could potentially, I'll publish it to the workshop, so people might want to go a bit further afield. And if they haven't got access to uranium, I think I'm going to put in just a couple of hydrogen engines as well, along with some O2 generators. I think that will be the way to go. So I'll just continue to plumb these in, and then we should be able to move on. And yeah, I'll put the batteries in. Last time I was talking about doing some measuring up around the station for a cunning plan. I think it's all going to be too difficult. I've done the measuring and it kind of fits, but I think it's just going to be a bit of hard work. So I am going to build a hangar for this. Now my cunning plan was to drill down from the top, so just outside the command center external entrance. You know how I said about that corner where I was going to have something running off that passageway? So yeah, that is the hangar for this. Now plan A was just to have the hangar there and have a lift to lift it up out of the ground, and that would just use distance, I think. So that's pretty much what I'm going to stick with. My cunning plan was to actually drill down from that position all the way into the main operations area, and it would end up being about where the beast is. So yeah, I have to move the beast, but that's something. And then I was going to use same setup, but a large grid, same setup as the elevator, so using a couple of rails, wheels, and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it would have been quite good, because then I've got using the space down here for something, especially when it comes to loading this. I think it would be quite good to have it down here, but as I say, it's just going to be a little bit too hard for what I'm going to get out of it. Yeah, I think I'll skip it and go for a different approach. And I've already done the elevator thing as well, so I've already proved that concept. And yeah, this Hephaestus Prime is about me learning how to do stuff. So yeah, this rocket is completely overkill for what I actually need. In all reality, I could probably just use a couple of O2 bottles and H2 bottles and just fly to the moon, but you know, that's not what the game's about. So yeah, just having a bit of an experiment here with having a bit of fun as well. Yeah, right, I'll just finish off these batteries and then we'll move on. Now I'm just lining up this buggy. Not that I'm building this to move a buggy, I just want to have the ability to do it. I mean, I wouldn't be able to keep the wheels on because it's going to be too wide, but I think it would fit in there. And yeah, just I want to have the option of it, and this is a pretty good size, I guess, for other things as well. So I'm also thinking that I'll have enough room in there to put some large cargo containers or some hydrogen tanks. And yeah, not detachable necessarily, just put them in, weld them up, and yeah, for a bit of extra storage of whatever material to get it to where I'm going. So yeah, that's pretty good. So what I will do now is I'm just going to continue to put the sides up and sort of create the cargo bay. So we'll probably do a speed up thingy for that, and yeah, we'll come back when yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but we'll see what happens. So we'll see you shortly. Alrighty, so no montage, I'll tell you why in a minute. Things didn't really go that well. Well, no, they didn't go badly, just it's just not going to make for a good video. But first of all, what I'm just going to do quickly is load up some Gatling guns into the... There we go, these are just small grid ones. And just load them up, cool. Need some gravel, I think, to finish off those reactor components, but that'll happen in due course. Yes, so gone through quite a bit of stuff. I've actually remade some things like interior plates, maybe 500 of those. I think I've done a couple of thousand construction components, so even though we had a lot of stuff, we are eating through it, so I have to do a bit of replenishment. But we're looking pretty good there for iron and things, so yeah, that's all good. Right, so let me tell you what's going on. So I've left pretty much 4 hours, I think, something like that, of footage on the cutting room floor, because it's just not really that interesting. In a moment, I'm going to hook up the centipede with a storage module and a welder module, because I've only just put the framework in for what I've done. So this is where we are up to. There we go. This has taken quite a bit of time to get to this point. Now there isn't actually a doors for the cargo bay. I'll tell you why in a minute. So these are just hydrogen tanks. I've just done just to see how they fit, and they fit quite well. So that would be the same as if I put in a large cargo container, or 4 of them. Okay, 4? Yeah, 4. So yeah, it just gives me the facility to add extra stuff on. So what do we got? We've got some Gatling turrets there and there and there, and I'm going to put another row down here. Now I've already had a go at trying to do the doors, the cargo bay doors. 2 attempts actually. The first attempt was using hinges, and now in the edit I will play what happened there. As you can see, it didn't go well. All hail Lord Klang. And then off camera I also tried using some rotors, so I put a rotor there and another one up the other end, And that actually worked quite well. I haven't got it recorded, but that worked quite well for when it was just like a single row of blocks. But as soon as I actually put a full row of blocks on, it just struggled to close. So I have just done a little bit of trial and error in creative mode on a third solution, and that's using pistons, and that seems to work quite well. So that's what we're going to go with at the moment. It's only just really started in creative mode trying to do it. The widths weren't right, so I'm going to have to just do a short one on this side and a long one on that side, and I haven't quite worked out how to put another set of Gatling guns on either. But yeah, so this is it so far. It's, I think, coming together quite well. It's big. It's real big. Yeah. So anyway, this is the top of the cargo bay, and I'll put some doors in, and then yeah, so a door into the cargo bay, and then some side doors, and then we'll start to taper off into the nose. So all going well. Yeah, hopefully that works out for me. Right, on to the centipede. I'm going to load it up with those bits for these turrets, and a whole lot of steel, and a whole lot of grids, metal grids, because these are, yeah, they're heavy armor. Right, and then we'll have a bit of a play with the lid door. What do you call that thing? Cargo bay doors. Anyway, stand by. Welcome back, everybody. You find me several hours later, and things have not gone well. All hail Lord Klang. Things are better now. I have completed the doors, so I didn't record actually finally completing it on what is, I think, my 4th or 5th attempt. Or I may have recorded it. I've just got so much footage I just can't keep up with it. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you around in a minute, but first of all, why are we at this point now? I will show you what happened the first time. So these were horizontal pistons, and it worked quite well. It did get a little bit stuck, so I did turn up the power on it. And yeah, this one blew up, and I've just replaced it, attached the head. Oh dear. Oh dear, dear, dear. And it's just gone skyward. While I was watching this, I could not believe it. I was like, is that coming back? Or is that like clanged out and headed into orbit? Because it stayed up there a very long time, but no, here it comes back down. And boom. Oh boy. So yeah, that happened. And moving on to plan C, which was to move the door a little bit so that there was actually a gap between the blocks on the ship and the blocks on the door. So rather than rebuilding it, I just wanted to essentially nudge it up a little bit and reattach it. And yeah, I didn't get very far because things didn't go that well. In fact, things went quite bad. Okay, so there we go. That's what happened and why I've lost several hours of my life trying to get this thing right. But I have it right now. I'm pretty confident it's right. And yeah, best we have a look at it, I guess. Start off in here, I guess. So quite a large space in here. And that's given me some ideas for the future, really. Now, these Gatling guns are actually plumbed into the main feed, so they are plumbed in down the bottom there. They sort of connect in there, and they will also connect to the top. So these will be auto-fed ammunition. These ones, same thing, and they are actually on the back of these conveyor junctions. So in theory, if I wanted, I could make those rocket launchers. They would be able to feed through there. Something to consider. That's just here. These ones, however, on the lid, unfortunately, are not connected to the conveyor system. So what I've done here is these are small cargo containers, and they've got 7 each. So we've got 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56. So 56 containers in there, plus I think 5 in each of those. So yeah, quite a bit of ammo. Certainly more than enough to if I run into something. So that is those. I suppose we would open the thing. Now, actually, just before I open it, you can see the gap here. This is how this has worked, whereas previous versions didn't work. So we've got that half block gap. So I had to shift the whole thing. So there we go, smooth as butter. And unfortunately I've had to, well, I don't think there's any other way around, especially considering those turrets on there, but I have had to make it just offset. So we've got one piston over this side and a pair of pistons over there. And then you can see just in there, there's a couple of pistons which are sort of locked and turned off to, and they push it out the half block, and then there's the same up there. Actually, I'll show you the ones up there. Oh, this makes sense. So yeah, that whole block there is pushed out. So these are full blocks, these are full blocks, and these are pushed out half a block. I did lose the reactor. That's a bit unfortunate. Well, I didn't lose it. I know exactly what it is. It's right there in that connector. So we'll find somewhere else for that. Yeah. So up here. There we go. That's how those pistons work. Just pushing it out. And yeah, so that's come up real well. Yeah. So we'll just shut ourselves in. There we go. Might have to just adjust the timing on that to get into meet at the same time. Yeah, actually what I'll do is I'll just turn this projector on. Yeah. So this, actually just looking at there, we might be able to fit wheels in. Yeah, so I've got a few ideas for sort of cargo for this space. So I can just weld in cargo containers, 4 of them, large ones, or 4 hydrogen tanks. And I'm just thinking about, I've obviously got vehicles. Also a pod, like a detachable, well, drop pod type thing, which might have 3 containers in it. Yeah, so just got a few ideas of how I'm going to use that. Now, in order to do that, I've got to think about a loading system. Now, my thoughts have again turned to how I'm going to build a hangar for this. And I said I wasn't going to do my plan B, I was going to go back to plan A. But the more I think about it, I think plan A isn't going to work. It'll work for making a hangar, but it won't work for loading and unloading cargo. I really need a bit more space, and I've got lots of space down there, and it would be good to have everything down there. So here we have a projection, and that's a fairly level bit of ground, and then down here, in here, down the tunnel and around the corner, and there we go. There is the other end of the projection. So what I'm going to do is put a couple of pistons in, and up there I'll put a drill head, and I think I'll just use the same drill head I used to dig out Fort Rutherford. That's the one that's published on the workshop as part of the tunnel boring machine. I'm going to have to move the beast though. So, now there is actually a landing gear. It does look like it's sunk into the floor a bit. Oh, and that landing gear has sunk into the floor a lot. Yeah. This does happen occasionally. It happens... Well, yeah, it happens all the time when I jump in with a second player. Doing the old multiplayer thing to try and get some cinematics. But that's why I don't really use that other character that much, because it really does just bug out in here. Now, I haven't turned this on in a while, so hopefully we're all charged. It's in its shutdown mode. No worries. Alright. Yes, so now I'm going to have to get this out of the way, which will be interesting. Okay, so let's just use these last few minutes to do a little bit of a review and do some other bits and pieces. I have done a couple of bits and pieces. Just first of all, iron, we're back up to 650k. So when I started drilling, I captured the stone and very quickly flooded my entire storage system. So now I'm not hooking up the conveyors and collecting the stone anymore. Yes, it's processed all that, but this I think has gone its full distance now. Ooh, sorry about the noise. Where's the button? Oh, there it is. Right. So we'll just quickly go through moving this cycle. I mean, it's a bit of a manual type thing. Just get that going. But yeah, I mean, it goes a decent amount, a decent push each time. Go. Turn that one off. Ooh, it's a bit crooked. Hopefully that sorts itself out. May not. Oh, we'll give it a nudge.
Inventory full.
Let's put those somewhere.
Inventory full.
Okay, let's... Ow. Whoops. Just put some of those in there, that'll do. Yeah, a little bit of a manual process, and normally it goes a lot smoother than this. This, I think, is the third time I've extended it. So, yeah. Doubt that that's quite going to fit. Yep, it's alright. We can just reverse this one a little bit. Might just need to... ooh. Okay. Yes, so that's gone on there. Now we'll just lower this back down a little bit. Yeah, so this, it's going to take a while to get up to the surface, but I'm glad I sort of started it. Now, I did turn the camera off and do some stuff out on the Marama Rocket, so we'll go and have a look at that, and that will be us for today. Oh, actually, no, I do have some stuff in my inventory just to plug up those holes down there. How are we going? Oh, no, I could have sped it up, but I think that'll do. Yes. Alright, get this thing going again. Then on. Right. Okay, so that's on its way again. Okay, what was I going to do? Oh yeah, that's right. So these tunnels that I uncovered, these are for the lights, so you can see how I put them in.
Fuel
Now, sorry, back in a minute. Right, as I was saying, yeah, these are the access tunnels for doing the lights. So we just got the framework there, and yeah, I just thought that rather than... Well, yeah, I didn't really have any other option. I thought I would just sort of cover these up. Can I put another little doodacky? Yeah, I think this will work. Alright, so that's that done. That's not right. What we want is... yeah, like that. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, they eventually lead back to the battery room. There's sort of hidden tunnels, but yeah, so that's that in there. Right. So yeah, we'll just let that do its thing for a while. And out here, Alright, so actually before I go to that, we'll go down here. So just to quickly show you what I've done. That's all good. So obviously there's a door up there. Put some lights in. Put these buttons in here. So that's to close the doors. Awesome. Now what I've done is I've put these landing gears in here. So my theory is that anything that doesn't have a connector in the right place, I will be able to lock in. So that's the theory behind those. And then up here, I've got lights as well. Can't remember if I said that. Now, this took a little bit of rejigging. So just trying to figure out the placement of stuff. So this took quite a while, just a few extra timers and gyroscopes in here. Because also trying to make it airtight. So I think that this will be airtight when I'm sort of done. Yeah, so just unfortunately these conveyors were not in the right alignment. So all this is just out by one block. So all this is just sort of get it into line because that needs to be there. So this connector here is for connecting to the Sirius. And is a sort of a tower type connector. So if I had a tower, you know, like you have with traditional NASA launches, because the door is going to be here. So that's the theory with that. So we're looking that the nose is going to start tapering off. So it's probably about up here that we're actually going to get the pointy end of the rocket. So it's going to be probably, that's going to be about halfway there, I think, up the rocket. So yeah, quite a big build, and I've just managed to squeeze in the O2 generator there, H2O2, and I've put my reactor pack in. So anyway, that is enough for today, I think. I am going to keep working on this now, but that will be for next episode. So from my perspective, I will see you in a few minutes. If you are watching this video in the future and the next one has already been released, and you can just click the next button at the end, we'll see you in a couple of minutes. Otherwise, if you're just watching this as they get released, we'll see you in 4 days' time. I hope you can join me. Thanks everybody for watching today. Stay safe out there. Have a good one.